Ever wondered about the complexities involved in preparing recovery or revised schedules during project execution? Well, it's a common task that planning engineers and scheduling coordinators grapple with every day. It's the reality of project management when the unforeseen happens and the schedule baseline no longer serves its purpose. Imagine a project is underway and suddenly there's a slippage in the project finish forecast date. Perhaps there's been a change in the construction methodology or an unexpected addition or omission in the scope. The schedule baseline is no longer effective, and a recovery or revised schedule needs to be prepared, approved, and maintained as a new baseline to monitor and control the project. Now, it's important to understand the difference between a recovery schedule and a revised schedule. When there's a slippage in the project finish forecast date, but the project team believes there's a realistic chance of completing the project on time by taking additional measures, a recovery schedule comes into play. On the other hand, a revised schedule is needed when the slippage is so significant that the project completion date is no longer achievable. In such a case, a new realistic completion date is proposed. So, you may be wondering, how does one go about preparing these revised schedules? The process involves a series of to get started. It's crucial to understand the original baseline schedule. This is where our journey begins. 1.1, it's important to keep track of your progress, hence add a change log in Excel defining the change you are making at each step of the process. 1.2, next, ensure the contractor is in agreement with any changes you propose and they have the capacity and capability to add the necessary resources. 1.3. Simultaneously assure that the client is paying approved invoices promptly to support the contractor's cash flow to add resources and supply materials. 1.4. Run the schedule log from scheduling F9. Understand the schedule and its integrity. If you have access to EPPM, run check schedule and understand more your schedule. 1.5. Now make the correct adjustments to avoid repeating the mistakes made in the baseline as per the schedule log report data. And remember, if your client has certain requirements, they must be followed exactly. 1.6. If you have access to EPPM, use its check schedule feature. It offers you additional statistics and checks on the schedule, and you should try to follow its recommendations. 1.7. After completing all the necessary corrections and compliance with the client's requirements, review the new dates set for the schedule, milestones and activities. 1.8. Update the schedule accordingly. 1.9. Update the new must-finish date in the project details tab as per the client's approval or the contractor's new targeted dates. 1.10. Run the schedule again to verify the new dates. 1.11. Understand the movements of resources/workshops between activities by working through resources assignments or by filtering the activities to see the number of workshops resources working simultaneously on activities. 1.12. Execute leveling to see where the dates stretch. Following that, add more resources to shorten durations to meet the new milestones. But remember, adding resources has its own set of conditions related to site movement, space, topography, and safety. 1.13. If your schedule doesn't have resource loading or isn't loaded properly, standardize the names and ID of the same activities everywhere. 1.14. At this point, you might have a new negative total float. Now, start working on the new revised schedule through the critical path and near critical path activities. 1.15. Shorten durations by adding resources or change relationships to work in parallel. 1.16. While you are doing this, monitor the float reductions in the activities until the total float is 0. 1.17. After this, run the schedule log check and check schedule in EPPM again. Share the revised schedule with your manager along with the change log and request a meeting to explain it in detail. 1.18. Upon approval, forward it to your client with all requirements such as narratives, schedule log, change log, resources histogram, approval requests for new subcontractors if necessary, highlights of the client's activities, inspections, commissioning plan, and approvals to hold the client accountable for any future delays. 1.19. After approval, share the new schedule with the rest of the team and ensure everyone is putting in the necessary resources and materials as per the schedule 1.20. Finally, maintain daily coordination with the team to ensure the schedule is being adhered to correctly. In summary, preparing a revised schedule involves a step-by-step process that needs to be followed meticulously. It's a vital task in project management that ensures the project stays on track, despite unexpected changes or delays. Remember, the key is to be proactive, adaptable, and strategic in your approach.
Assalamu alaikum. We have two videos released about how to do the revised schedule. One explaining what type of revised schedule we might face and why we need it from contractor perspectives and owner perspective. And then we did another video explaining what's the steps you need to do when you are doing a revised schedule, where to look and how to do it. We have this schedule which we did for two buildings. It's the one I did it in Arabic. It was doing a project from scratch, from A to Z, from the beginning till the end. And it's supposed to be done in 4 months for two buildings, ground floor plus 5 floors, plus 4 floors for two buildings. Okay, and it was so ambitious, but it was possible, organized. However, the scenario we are putting here that during the excavations, they faced some utilities, some problems in the first building, which delayed the drawings and design because they face some difficulties there. They have to shift things and then delay the project. Now, who watched that video and build the schedule like we did from scratch, he understands the baseline. So the first step, as we said in the previous, in part 2 video, that you need to understand why you need a recovery schedule and revised schedule. So you need to analyze the baseline first. You need to understand the baseline first. So let me go back to the baseline as we did it, and let's understand the baseline, okay? And then we come back to the updates here. Okay, now, if you are the one who designed the schedule, you understand every single thing about the schedule. It's your baby. However, if this schedule come to you and oh, you have to do a revised schedule, you don't understand. Now, you need to do schedule analysis step by step as we described in part 2. First things to do is scheduling, okay? And then you schedule it, and you have here the log file, okay? You might call it schedule log 2, for example, just in this case, and schedule. And then you go again and view the log file to understand how many activities is there, what's about the relationships, and what's about everything about the schedule. And if you see here, leveling, there is no leveling. Okay, this is the setup of the projects. This is a normal change. This is normal, nothing about to worry. Projects, now we have 102 activities. Of course, in real life, you have more than 2,000 to 3,000 activities sometimes, and 5,000 in some cases. So be careful about what you do. Then, okay, warning, without predecessor 1, without successor 1, perfect, everything is good with the relationships here. Notice I'm saying here. I will tell you why after a few minutes. Okay, and then you go to critical activities was 20 out of 102, which is about 20%. That's quite good. Okay, and unsatisfied constraint, and very good. It looks nice, right? However, if you remember what I said in part 2, that you need to do project check in EPPM if you have access to it. And now let us go to Primavera P6 EPM and do schedule check. I know some of you doesn't have that, but it's better if you have it. Okay, I have many videos about how to install it and how to do it there. It's very important. Okay, and let's go there. And this is the project we are working on, and we go to actions, and then you have check schedule. I have a video about check schedule in the channel. Please check it there. It explains everything. Okay, so run check schedules. Now notice that this is the information we will use, and this is the typical conditions. I will say you might change it, but I don't change it. I'd like just use it as it is and check schedule. Now relationships, tell you activities missing, producers or successors too. That's okay. Dangling starts no. Dangling finish 1. We'll see what they are. Negative lags, we have 2, which is okay, but we need to check what they are. Positive lag, we have 7. Long lags, 0, which is very good schedule prepared. Relationship types should be okay, finish to start, which is 90 more than 90%. Hard constraint 0, soft constraint 0, large float 0, negative float 0. Everything is perfect. Okay. Now, unfortunately, we don't have resource loading here, and I might do another revised schedule using resource because it will be more easier, by the way. But let's see. Okay. And then relationships details now. This is the ones which has no predecessor and successor. That's okay. Dangling nothing except exceptions now. Dangling finish, and we need to change this. Now remember, in the Primavera Professional, we didn't see that. Now we see that one here. It doesn't drive successor with finish dates that don't drive successors. Okay, that's you didn't see it in the previous report, the log report. Negative float now, we didn't see it before. Now we see it. We have -24 here and -24 for foundations. Okay. And lags. Now here the lags, that's very important thing because we couldn't find this before in Primavera Professional. Now we have it and we can check every single one why we have them. Okay. And check them one by one. Long lags, nothing and nothing else. Okay. So let's go to then, this is one of the problems in the schedule. Let's just be confirming which schedule, which execution. Is it building 1 or building 2? It's building 2. Okay, so now in building 2, let's go here and check what happened in building 2. Okay, now building 2 and finish to start relationship. It has finish to start relationship, but because it has a start to start with the foundations in the previous building, okay, which is okay, I think, because we might do some foundations preparations and steelworks while the excavation is going on, so it's okay, and then placing what is ready to be placed after excavations, so that's okay. So this comment is okay. Now the lags we saw in the report, it's okay. I think it can be justified. Road and works and parkings, you can start at any time. Slabs, it has some gaps between it and between the other ones, which is okay because we are doing in the same workshops. Now let's do something very important. Okay, filters. Now let's see how we are doing the activities one by one. So how the workshops are moving between the different activities. So let's say this is, let's call it workshops. Okay, and when the activities name, see, we used the same names everywhere, so it will filter everything as we need it. So when it is equal or contains, I prefer contains, it's easy to use. Excavation. Okay, now we use excavations and we choose it and say apply. Now let's see how it goes. Now what we said, in the previous video that we finish this execution. Here, the same machines will go and do the building number 2. Now, when we are doing the revised schedule, and because the delays, definitely we can work in this one as soon as we can when we finish this one. But because this one, as the scenario, delayed a lot, maybe they should come and start here, but they didn't because they want to finish this and understand the contract complications. Notice that. Because if there is a problem between them and the owner about this problem, why they will create another one. So they hold everything until this problem finish and agreed. Okay, so they didn't start. That's easy for this one because when they finish this, they can come here easily and do it. Now let's do the same, and let's go.